Hi guys, in this video we're gonna paint my domerunner, and as you can see I've already base coated her and given her a zenithal with a warm pinkish red and also a colder dark blue from the bottom. This is so you can use those colors to make it look more interesting when we start adding all the other stuff on there. First up is the skin color. This miniature, I'm going to paint it the way you're supposed to do it and not like I did Ozzy in the last video. So we're gonna go skin, cloth, armor, etc. I'm using a very nice, pale, sort of unsaturated skin color. This will be perfect for the environment that these people and these models are supposed to be in, because necromunda is a hive. It's a locked in place. They don't get to see much sun, so I can't imagine them being bronzed or tan, and it's also going to give us a good contrast towards all the other colors that we're going to put on this model. We are going to leave, and I'm talking as if I want you to paint like I do. I don't want that. I want you to just enjoy my video, I guess. But I'm painting it and also leaving a lot of the blue and the red in the recesses and the shaded areas to give it some more, something more, just make it more fun to look at. And it's also kind of fun to use colors. We don't really use that a lot now, do we? Also, notice that the base is what happened when I sprayed this model, because I sprayed it with the reddish pink color from above first, and then I added the blue below, which gave it this look that you see with the like pinkish color in the recesses. I really like that, and I also do this with pretty much all of my necromunda models. I spray it and I get some colors on the base, and I might like it, I might tweak them a little bit. But then I just go in and do some basic highlights and perhaps add like a homemade wash of pigment powders with a airbrush thinner in it, or some water. I just wash that over it, and that's pretty much it. That's how I do all my necromunda bases. And now you can see that we are coming in with the very pale, almost whitish color for the skin. This is one of the final highlights of this area, and it also brings out the muscles a little bit better. There's not a lot of skin on this model, so it's fine that way. Here we are with the cloth. The first piece of cloth, because she's covered in a lot of different pieces of cloth. So I started off with her pants / half shorts, or whatever you want them to be. I'm just painting it with a reddish brown that I like. I'm going to use the same reddish brown color for the rust on the NMM that we're going to get to later. And then I'm just adding like a light gray to this to keep the warmer tones, but also not keeping it warm. It's going to be hard to explain. Just try it out. It's fun. When I'm done with that, I'm going to put a flesh shade wash over it to tie it a little bit all together. Because it's going to look very weird without it, and it's also going to add some more color to it. Once again, I'm leaving the bluish color in the recesses and also in the shaded areas, as you can see here. This is to keep the model going from dark blue up to that bright warm color at the top. This is going to help us in the end to bring focus towards the face and the head area, because we're going to do things to those areas that are giving them a very warm final look. And here you can see I'm going over this using mostly like dots and lines to build up some sort of rough texture in the cloth, because it's a very, very worn piece of cloth. It's not like the new fancy stuff. This has been around for a couple of years or so and probably doesn't see very much washing. So wear and tear is very nice to add to miniatures like this. It doesn't have to be extreme, just make it look a little bit more like they are lived in, because this is not like the perfect uniform. This is just a survivor in the underhive going through what would be like a nightmarish hellscape of a life for us. And now I started with her top, and I wanted it to be very, very dark, almost black, so I painted it using a black color, but I still left a little bit of the blue in the recesses. And then I'm just gonna go in with a little piece of gray, and I think I added a little bit of blue to this color as well, but it's mostly a black and gray mix. And I'm just going over it, highlighting it wherever I think it's needed, because it's not going to be very visible because there's a lot of stuff going on over this area, like straps and other such things, and we're going to paint those last. And those are some of the parts that I didn't paint on camera because they were very, very tiny and fiddly, and I'm still not used to painting with stuff in the way. And you can see me stop and actually looking and reassessing what I need to do, and then I add some more highlights to some parts of her upper torso. This was because I wanted to add some extra focus towards the top of the miniature, to make sure to draw your eye towards the head and face in a subtle way. And this is where I found another light. So now we're gonna see, I think you're gonna get a better video, hopefully. If you think so, comment below, because I really like this a lot better than the way it used to be. So this light is gonna give it more like a neutral shine, which is kind of nice now that I'm gonna do the NMM of the armor plates and also some of the smaller belt buckles and stuff like that. And here you can see me start off with that reddish brown color again, and you can also see it painting the pipe as well as all the brass and gold NMM I'm gonna do, as well as the steel, except for the gun. Because I want to keep the gun very, very clean, because a person like this would take care of their pistol, because that's the way that they survive in this sort of environment. So I wanted to keep it squeaky clean, so to speak. So we have this idea of that the knife doesn't have to be perfect, and it's very rough as a model as well. It's very, very rough and well used and worn. But the gun, I wanted to keep it clean. So that's why you don't see me adding that color to it. And now I'm gonna do the brass or gold or whatever you want to call it. And I do this by adding sunny skin tone actually to this mixture, as well as some gray, a light gray that is slightly off-white. And I'm going over the same areas again, just smaller and smaller for every layer. And also to make sure that when you do this, you need to keep the contrast. So a sharp jump in value is actually kind of good. It's going to make it look more shiny. Also remember to do all the details on these things when you do this, like the studs on the armor, for example, and the pipe as well. And now I've started doing the steel, which are very, very many small pieces of this miniature. For this I have used the same dark blue that I used for the undercoat and mixed it with a little bit of black and a little bit of light gray. This is going to help us still tie the miniature together, because we're using the same colors to get there. And now you can also see what I'm doing to the base, that I'm doing this sort of NMM color on there as well. I'm just adding scratches and dots. You really don't need to be as clean as with the NMM on the model, because we're gonna make sure that this base gets a lot of interest by adding other stuff. The same here, just go over the same areas in smaller and smaller parts, leaving some of the rest behind, and also make sure that you hit the upper areas of the model the best, that they get the lightest color. But you also want to look at if there's a cylinder or something like that, you want to get like a secular second spot of light from below, so you don't make it all black at the bottom. You can make it black between the two highlights, but you need to keep a highlight at the bottom as well, and I think it's mostly clearly visible on her shoes, where I put a very light specular highlight from the top, but then I went in and added a smaller highlight at the bottom along the rim of the shoe. And I'm on to the gun. man, was this very fiddly to do under the camera. There's a lot of weird shapes to this, and I would recommend not doing it when you're filming, because that's gonna mess things up. I had to go in and redo parts of it off camera to make it look better. And now I'm just adding the final sort of highlights to everything, making it shine, making it look bright, which is also going to make it look more metallic than plastic or clothy or whatever you want to call it. And you can also see that I left parts of the undercoat on, like the pipe and other areas as well, especially on the brassy areas. It's really nice to get that sort of a green color in the recesses, because that's going to make it look like verdigris and that it's been worn and torn a little bit through the ages. And here we have some more work on the base. You can clearly see the light highlights that I'm putting in right now, and it's gonna make it look kind of weird, but I like it. You can also notice here that I'm not painting either of the blades, neither the knife nor the bayonet thing on the gun. This is because I'm going to use a different kind of color for this. I'm going to use other mixes. Talking about the blades, here we go. It's pretty much a very similar recipe for these. Difference is that I add ice yellow to a blue color, because these are not black and blue, these are blue and then ice yellow. And what that does is gives me sort of a little bit of a green tone towards the highlights. It's gonna differentiate the blades from the belt buckle and her pistol and her shoe, but only a little bit, which is what I wanted here, because I still wanted to read like some sort of a steely metal, and not like this weird alien power thing or magical. There's still gonna be these low-tech, dirty, filthy things that have been made by somebody with a basic understanding of metalworking. And now it's time for the mask, apparently. Didn't know what order I did things when I started this voiceover, but here we are. I want a red mask, so I'm just doing a red mask. This is pure red from the armor painter, just on top of whatever was there. And I start making out the shape of the mask, and I'm gonna start adding highlights to it as well. It's just a basic red color, but because we have those blue tones in the shadows, it's gonna make it more interesting by default. And here I'm also adding some sort of rust to the knives, using that warm reddish tone again. And after that we start doing hair. I really like this hair. I wanted to keep it very warm, but I was thinking that I don't want like a pink or a red, because the mask is red, and I wanted it to be like a step higher than I already had. So orange with some yellow highlights, of course. This is the future, and this is a cyberpunk game, so why not? Why not an orange-headed girl? And it's just the basic shapes. The one thing when it comes to painting hair, if you're not going to do like a display model, like this is not a display model, this is a tabletop model, you can always just break down the shapes of the hair. Like the top there, you add like one highlight over it. You don't have to paint every single strand of hair in every single step. So just one big highlight on the top, some other highlights down in the curves and the waves of the hair, and then you just define it with some yellow. For the rat, I took that same reddish brown color again and painted the fur using that, and I added some of the lighter skin color tone to it to make the highlights of the fur in certain places. And this is just gonna give it some sort of mangy, dirty fur. I'm guessing the rat hasn't been cleaned yet, it's just recently been caught. For the skin of the rat, I'm starting off with a sort of a magenta pink color. To this I'm then adding some sunny skin tone, and at the end I think I added some light gray to highlight the stuff up a little bit extra. I also do the same color on her boot. This is a I really liked how it came out, so I'm gonna be proud of that. It looks sort of like a pinkish, brownish, beaten leather kind of thing, like a pink Doc Marten boot, if you will. And here I am doing the highlights on the tail and all the other parts of the rat's skin. It's nothing special really, it's very, very simple. I just find the higher spots and do them. I'm gonna end this skin color on the rat with a very diluted wash of the same basic pink color over the tail, towards the end of the tail, to make it look a little bit different than the whole of the rat, and also to shade it down a little bit and make it look a little bit weirder. Onto the straps on her torso. I painted these using the same pink color that I used on the rat, because I wanted some more pink. I really liked that color, so that was a perfect opportunity to just add some more pink towards the top of the miniature without overdoing it and making it like baby pink. This is a very dark, kind of muddy, magenta-ish pink, and I'm just adding a little bit of light gray to it to make the highlights. And now I'm going to finish the boot as well as some straps, because there's two parts to the boot. The like folded over top part, I painted it in a grayish blue color, and I also painted the straps around her other leg in the same color as that, and I'm just adding some very, very desaturated highlights to this. I'm not really focusing on making it perfect, because we are like at the bottom of the miniature. I'm more focused on getting it better the higher up we go. I had a huge problem when I thought about what colors I'm going to use for the gloves, because I didn't want them to distract too much from all the other colors, because there's a lot of colors on this miniature. But I didn't want them to be like a boring black or like any other color that I already had used too much. And I didn't want them to distract from the head and the hair and the top part of the miniature, even though they are pretty close to the top. What I landed on in the end is sort of a gray, I guess, a dark gray with some blue in the shadows and the recesses. And I think it came out kind of nice. It's still not the same color as her weapons, which makes it stand out against them, and it's still not the same color as her top, which is a much darker color. So this was just fine, I think. And here we are at the end of the miniature. I've already done things on the side here that you can see, like I finished up some stuff. But this is where I take that airbrush thinner and a pigment and do a pigment wash over the entire base. And as you can see, this is not like the perfect, most pristine thing to do. It's a mess. But the good thing about doing this is that you can take another brush or the same brush and just clean it out, put some water on it, and like modulate where the wash ends up. And even after it's dry, you can actually remove it using some water to just push it where you want it. Like if you had made this perfect, really nicely painted NMM and you really don't want the wash to cover that, just remove it from that place. And as I said earlier, I really like this effect that I get from using the same like undercoat base colors that I used for the miniature to be on the base of the model, because it ties them all together. This is a world building thing that we can do, and I really like it. It's also very, very simple to do, and it's fast. I don't have to think about how I'm going to do this base, how am I going to do that. No, it's already done. They're going to be the same color as the miniature somewhat, but with like this extra other textures and perhaps some extra techniques and products like this pigment wash, or perhaps an enamel or oil wash. But it's going to be a very close tied thing in the end. Both the miniature and the base are going to belong together, because that's where the world that the miniature is supposed to live in. And now all we do is wait for this to dry. That's going to take a little while. It doesn't take that long, but it takes a little while. So while you watch this miniature, I'm going to say thank you for watching, and hopefully you will like and subscribe and be back, because I have a lot more coming. Once again, guys, thank you.